Hey guys, Sandy here, and I am back with my pocket page scrapbooking with my stories by the month kit and my napkin from my lunch out. Still, how embarrassing. Okay, so I am on June 2018. I still have all of the rest of the months of kits to get through. So I've printed out a whole bunch of 3x4 photos, just random things throughout the month. I had already made this card, and I believe this was for a, I don't remember what I made this for. I honestly can't remember, but it's made, so I have these colors. Let's see what I can do. This month I decided to go with the page protector that has the one 4x6 opening and every other opening is a 3x4. Now I was just kind of trying to figure out if this was going to be a good fit, and I was just putting my pictures in facing forward and back just to give me an idea. So I'm not like super planning it out. I'm just thinking, okay, do I have enough pictures for the front and the back of this? Because that is how my pocket page spreads are going for the month of 2000, or the year of 2018. I have one front and back spread that I do just to give, basically what it's turning into is a divider between the months in my 2018 albums. I say albums because I'm up to 4 albums already and I'm not even nearly finished. So here we go. Now I do have to go through and trim some of the things down, and I'm placing these cards here kind of as holders because, let's face it, I don't like a lot of other people's handwriting in my scrapbooks, and I really am kind of excited and dread it and having these feelings of dread where people's handwritings are coming out more and more in fonts. And I know that like thickers and stuff like that are really the designer's handwriting, but it's a sticker, it's a thicker, like it looks like it's some sort of artistic thing. It doesn't look like this. Like this looks like somebody wrote every summer has a story on that card. It doesn't look like it's something that is, created for the masses. I'm doing a really poor job of explaining this, but it's just the way I feel. So I grabbed my airplane punch and I tried to punch through the card that has Father's Day on it because I wanted that navy blue color. However, my punch was too weak and my paper was too strong, so it just didn't work out. So I pulled out this 6x6 paper pad from Pink Fresh, and I think it's a case of the Blas, and I just went and found some papers that would work instead. And this little blue dot paper, I end up using quite a bit of it throughout the spread on the page, so that makes me happy. Now I am also pulling in my LA Studio labels. I love labels, you guys. When I first discovered labels, I was just like, these are the best ever. They work as layering pieces, they work as journaling pieces, they work as, just something extra. It gives it a little bit of grounding to an embellishment cluster. Like, they are amazing. And I went and I bought so many labels. I actually have a little cart that I keep to the left side of me while I'm scrapbooking, and I have a whole section of it just dedicated to labels. I just love them so much. So what I decided to do was punch out one of these gold circles from the vellum, and it does have a little bit of extra around it. My Creative Memories very old circle punches don't match up exactly with the size of the circle on the vellum, but that was okay for me. So I'm just going to write a little bit on the cards. Some months I write on the cards after I've completed the spread and made the video, and some months I'm just like, I just need to get this done, and I do it right then and there. I am using a Muji pen. You can get them on Amazon. I will try to have the link below in the description box. I have had comments asking about that pen a couple times. I just love it. It's a great pen, and I would probably use it at work. I do have different pens that I like to use at work. If if you hear that noise, I'm flicking it right now. The pen cap isn't strong enough for me for work. Like this little pen cap, oh, it would break off in a second. I keep my pin in the collar of my shirt, and it's, something that moves in and out quickly, and I definitely need a strong clip on my pen, and it just doesn't have a strong enough clip. Okay, now that I have cleaned off some adhesive that was sitting on my desk while I was talking to you guys, I'm looking up and I realize I have no idea what the heck I'm even doing right now. What am I doing? So it's June, right? It's Father's Day, and so some years Father's Day and Mother's Day are like huge affairs. We do presents, we do meals, we do all kinds of stuff. And some years we're just like, yeah, let's just have a relaxing day. And so I did not have a whole lot of Father's Day stuff. So this card that says Dad Stories, I trimmed off the stories and am going to use that instead of using the whole dad thing. So I'm taking my black ink pad here, and it was just the first one, the easiest one that I had to put on, just to give it a little bit of edge, because this kind of like little stories thing is going on top of this black and white card that I cut out of the 6x6 paper pad. So I just felt like it needed something. And then I'm holding it over there, and I'm like, yeah, there needs to be something else here because it's blending in a little bit too much. So I pulled out the cut apart sheet, and I was trying to find something that would work color wise and nothing that I was going to have to spend too much time covering up. So I cut out this little square, I layered it with the little stories thing that I cut out, and now I am putting it on top of the card here. And then I have this little scrap of white paper that I'm just going to add on top as well, just so that I can be able to have a place to have my journaling. I figured since I was actually using a label, a hand created label that says stories, I actually needed to put a story down on there. So that's what I did. And I'm thinking, and there we go. So that is that. And then of course I had to trim it down ever so slightly. And I get that pocket in there, and then I've got a couple more stories down. So I decided to leave this one, even though this is a card that is in Allie Edwards' handwriting, I decided to go with it. So it says time for pools and sun and grilling and laying under the stars. And I hand wrote and counting down to Christmas because June 25th is 6 months from Christmas, and I just decided to document that by doing this. So I added with my little Galaxy gold pen, I added some stars, a couple little dots, and then a little bit of a line around the edge of the card, and just put that in there. And I felt like it's still very pre-made someone else's handwriting, but I've added a little bit to it, so I'm not freaking out about it. Like I'm not looking at this little spread going, oh my word, I've got so much of her handwriting in this album. It's not that at all. I was a little bit worried that I do have little pops of her handwriting font throughout the albums, and they're really only going to be on this 12 by 12 pocket page. And I was thinking, is that going to be weird? Like, is that going to cause some issues? And then I figured, you know what? No, it's not. It's just going to call more attention to the fact that these are monthly dividers instead of, like a spread. I can't imagine scrapbooking project life in a monthly theme where I just take highlights of the month and scrapbook them, and that's all my scrapbooking. Like, I think about it and I think, okay, so I would definitely only have an album for a year. and I'm up to like 7, 9 albums, you know, per year now. I don't know. It kind of makes me nervous. I don't think I could do it. Like, more power to the scrapbookers out there that do Project Life monthly spreads, and you know, they have no problem with picking out the highlights of the month. Like, good on you. Just, makes me a little bit nervous. Okay, so here I am. I decided to use a banner in that 3x4 pocket instead, and I thought I was just going to leave the white banner on the other side of the pocket, but I decided not to do that. I decided to back the banner with the exact same banner. So I'm also, while I am scrapbooking this, I'm realizing that I have a couple of pictures that were actually in May. Like this photo from the scrapbooking retreat actually happened in May, and the chocolate martini down in the bottom corner also happened in May. I guess I just shared these photos in June because that's how I am going back and getting my photos from over a year ago now, is I'm going into my Google Photos where it automatically uploads them. And I think I probably shared these photos. I pulled them off of someone else's and shared them in June, and I did not catch it until literally just now while I'm talking through this with you guys. So, and you know what? I'm not going to go back and change it. I might go back and just make a reference to it, just saying, you know, receive this great photo in June of our fabulous scrapbooking retreat in May. Something like that. Maybe. I mean, honestly, guys, I'm a little loose with my dates anyway when I scrapbook. So I used to scrapbook chronologically. Like, I would start in January and I would move through, because that way I knew everything was going to fit in my album, and I knew that there would be no gaps that I would have to fill in. Well, I've kind of changed that, and I scrapbook loosely chronologically. So I have a hunk of time and I scrapbook throughout the dates. So sometimes with the amount of layouts I have for a particular month, I kind of have to like fudge it a little bit, and I might have layouts intermingled, and I'm okay with that. Like, it had to be so structured and so rigid, like everything had to be in order, and my scrapbooking is kind of involved that I'm just close enough to the dates, good enough for me. And I definitely see an evolution in my scrapbooking, which is kind of cool when you look back. I have a bunch. I think I have like 50 some albums out there in our living room that live in the book shelf that spans the entire wall. And my daughter yesterday was saying, "Mom, I just want to start at the beginning and just look through all of them in order." And I'm like, you know what? I haven't done that in a while. It's been a good 6 to 8 months probably since I've sat down, started with the 1998 scrapbook, and moved. Because that's when we got married. So that's when I started like our chronological storytelling of our family, was 1998. And it's just interesting because I can see where I'm like, oh yeah, look, this is where I started to get into stitching. This is where I started to get into embellishments. This is where I started to get into lumpiness. This is where I started to really embrace layering. This is when I discovered washi tape. So all kinds of fun things that I just like seeing, like the evolution of my personal scrapbooking. So I had these puffy hearts on my desk, and they were just on my desk. I hadn't actually planned on using them, but I did. The colors worked out fine, so it worked out great. Now, some of these pictures you might be wondering about. So the picture that I'm journaling about right now is about the purpur tape, here that I have the picture of here on the left. So our family calls purpur, and it just has transferred into a purpur tape thing that we have. So I just like to include things like that the little things like that where we've called we've called purple purper for as long as I can remember. I don't even remember exactly how it started, but I want that to be documented somewhere, because if it ever stops, I want something on some sort of page somewhere that might be able to spark a memory. So that was a good place to put it. Now this is a photograph of a birthday card that my aunt had sent me right before she passed away, and I was just so amazed by her because she was literally sick and dying of cancer, and she couldn't speak. She had had her voice box removed, and she was just in a very, very rough situation. It was near the end of her life, and she still took the time to send me a birthday card and write me a note in it. And that just was the kind of person my aunt was. Like, she always just wanted to brighten someone's day. So I felt like this was important to put in. I have an entire section of the album dedicated to her this year, and I didn't want to put it in there because the whole funeral and all that isn't sad. Like, that section of my album you're not going to get to and be like, oh, like, it's not like that. It's a happy thing. And this one, this card kind of tore my heartstrings a little bit, so I put it here. This photo of the car up there is when someone backed into my car in the parking lot at work. Pissed me off something fierce. It's the second time my car's been hit in the parking lot. It's just a mess. And then this is just a photo of me, like a selfie I probably sent to my husband. And then there is a screenshot right there on the Two Peas Refugees message board. Somebody had created oh man, I am blanking. I am completely blanking. A challenge in honor of me. And so I screenshotted it because I thought that was super fun. The Mickey bags are the bags that I bought at Target when the big Mickey celebration happened. So I got those. Now I also have my Apple Watch on the other side, where I actually completed a entire week from start to finish. So that was super exciting. And now I'm just using this card here, and I'm going to cover up a good bunch of it. You know, I can see where I'm trying to get it to match up and trying to figure out how much of this card I actually want to use to cover up. And I'm just going to cover up the part that says Summer Stories. I'm trimming it off, and then I'm going to decorate it somehow, figure it out. So I do like the little chipboards that come in these Stories by the Month kits. Now, I did cancel it. I know that the kit has increased in price, and it doesn't come in a little paper bag anymore. I believe it actually comes in a little pouch. I don't know if that's going to change anybody's mind about what they want to do or anything, but when I got the kit, it was $10 a month. I think it's $15 a month now. I got it because I wanted to try this style of memory keeping. And I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with it for the 2019 albums. I just don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm working on June 2018, and it's now July 2019. And this was supposed to be something I could do right away, and it didn't turn into that. It turned into I don't want to work on that right now. I want to do this. So definitely my love is full 12x12 layouts. But here it is, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Only a couple more months until this is completely finished, and then I can just work on my regular layouts. Maybe. Who knows? All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you again really, really soon, and have a good one.